back on the SportsMax zone. Despite losing all 6 matches on their limited overs tour of India, West Indies captain Karen Pollard believes that there are positives to take from the campaign, especially in the shortest format. The Caribbean side ended the tour with a 17-run defeat in the third T20 international at Eden Gardens in Kolkata on Sunday. India batted first and posted 184 for 5, led by Surya Kumar Yadav's 65 from 31 balls. In reply, the West Indies could only manage 167 for 9 as Nicholas Pooran led with 61. Both sides made 4 changes with Shai, Fabian Allen, Hayden Walsh Jr. and Dominic Drakes replacing Brandon King, Odin Smith, Akil Hussain and Sheldon Cottrell for the West Indies, while Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant were among those rested by the home team. The match was carried live on SportsMax, and here is Ricardo Chambers with a look back at the contest.
The third time in the series, the team winning the toss selected to field, meaning India batted first for a second successive game. But it was West Indies who took control early, limiting the home team to 93 for 4 after 14 overs. Jason Holder was first to strike. Ruturaj Gaikwad's leading edge juggled successfully by Kyle Mayers.
Kyle Mayers hangs on to it eventually.
Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer added 53 for the second wicket before Hayden Walsh Jr. struck. Iyer comfortably caught by Holder for 25. Kishan followed 3 runs later for 34 from 31 deliveries. Roston Chase, the bowler. Captain Boyd Sharma dropped down the order to number 4, but after an impressive 6, Dominic Drakes had his stumps disturbed.
The angle left arm overs worked for him today, and that's the end of Rohit Sharma batting today at number 4.
It was at that stage, though, that India took charge, almost doubling their score after 14 overs with...
Okay, we apologize for that sudden break. Are we going to take a commercial break or do we... All right. So, Lance, of course, there was a bit of hiccup with the wrap, but we're going to continue on as we normally do. So, West Indies, not a good showing. They lost all of their limited over matches. However, our captain, Karen Pollard, believes that there are positives to take away from the match. And there are a few. Nicholas Pooran coming back to form, something I'm very happy about. Ravman Powell also with the bat. And then if I were to pick a bowler, I'd say Roston Chase, because, of course, he came into the side to fill in for Jason Holder, who, of course, picked up an injury. But then he was so good to handle, too hot to handle, that he had to remain in the squad. So those are 3 things that I think are worth celebrating. What's your assessment?
Well, statistically, there is reason to agree with the point that you've made about positives, taking some positives, because Nicholas Pooran was the leading scorer in the entire series, both teams combined. And Roston Chase was the leading wicket taker in the entire series, both teams combined. So if you look at those statistics and how well Ravman Powell played, there is the feeling that there were things to feel encouraged about. Having said that, I didn't think the West Indies would have avoided a 3-0 loss in this series, because I think the Indian team is so much better.
Yeah.
I will also say that for long periods in this T20 series, the West Indies were reasonably competitive. And unlike the ODIs, where I thought they were more comprehensively beaten, I think in defeat in this 3-love series for the West Indies, there were signs of competitiveness from the team. Problems with the death bowling, where on a couple of occasions we just gave away too many runs in the 18th, 19th, 20th overs and so on, which hurt their chances. And as we have seen for years, the bowlers, for the most part, pulling their weight reasonably well, and the batsmen not backing them up.
Yeah.
Because if there is so much that a bowling unit can do to help the team win a match.
Agreed.
If the batsmen don't put their heads down and bat, then the work of the bowlers will go in vain, and we saw evidence of that here.
Yes, and Lance, on that note, because we're going to pick up the discussion after, let's now hear from the West Indies captain, Karen Pollard, assessing the series.
I don't think we should be, sort of disgraced by what has taken place. Yes, we have lost 3-0, and the scoreline will suggest that, and we accept that. Yes, we have lost, but again, yes, we're in a really result-oriented business as well, and it's one where we're looking for results and we're looking to see what the guys have to offer as well. So there's a fine line. We're not happy with losing. Let me put that on record. It's not a matter that we just go out there and if we lose, we lose. It's not that at all. We're trying to win cricket games as well. But as I said, a work in progress. I'm very, very happy with some of the performances, of the guys. And, we crack on. We have no international white ball cricket for 3.5 months. So, we have some time to think about, what's there for the future.
Yeah, and Lance, speaking of future, the World Cup, not too far away from now, which means we have an immediate future to prepare for. Because I don't think that the West Indies would want to have such a World Cup outing, the one that we had previously. So, limited time to go, a lot of things to work on. What do you say?
Well, let me start with Kieran Pollard, the captain, because West Indies fans tend to be very unforgiving when the team loses. And it is very evident to me that Kieran Pollard is under a lot of pressure as a team captain. And in a couple of instances, we've seen sometimes where the team plays a little better when he's not playing, which adds more pressure to him. Having said that, I'm not sure what has gone wrong within the white ball unit in the past few months, because when Kieran Pollard took over initially, there were signs of his leadership having a positive impact on the team. But the World Cup performance was wretched, and some of the lead-up games ahead of the World Cup weren't too impressive either. And since the World Cup, we've had problems as well. So I think Pollard is under a lot of pressure now based on the fact that the team has been performing very poorly. And as I said, I think that a lot of people have a very unforgiving attitude to what happened at the World Cup, where it was felt that they chose the wrong team to go to the World Cup. And there is a feeling that Pollard had a strong role in the selection room to decide on what would happen with the team with regard to who would play. So I think Pollard is facing a lot of pressure because the team is losing and because the World Cup outing was such a horrible, horrible experience for the West Indies team and the fans.
And when he was asked in the press conference, because I'm going to toss to the wrap now, they asked him to rate how he performed, and he said 11 out of 10. When asked by the journalists. So, I think it's the play on the fact that the point that you were making about the pressure. Yeah. So, just to rebut that, he said 11 out of 10 because sometimes your hands are tied, you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So, his response. But just for our viewers, we didn't want you to miss out. We were having some technical difficulties, but we have the full report for you now. So, let's take a look.
For the third time in the series, the team winning the toss selected to field, meaning India batted first for a second successive game. But it was West Indies who took control early, limiting the home team to 93 for 4 after 14 overs. Jason Holder was first to strike. Ruturaj Gaikwad's leading edge juggled successfully by Kyle Mayers.
Kyle Mayers hangs on to it eventually.
Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer added 53 for the second wicket before Hayden Walsh Jr. struck. Iyer comfortably caught by Holder for 25. Kishan followed 3 runs later for 34 from 31 deliveries. Roston chased the bowler. Captain Rohit Sharma dropped down the order to number 4, but after an impressive 6, Dominic Drakes had his stumps disturbed.
The angle left arm overs worked for him today, and that's the end of Rohit Sharma batting today at number 4. It
was at that stage, though, that India took charge, almost doubling their score after 14 overs with 91 of the last 6. Surya Kumar Yadav led the late charge.
This is just an incredible, remarkable shot.
Incredible, remarkable, audacious. The right-hander slamming 7 sixes and 1 4 in his 65 of 31 deliveries. He was eventually out of the last ball of the innings, ending a 91-run partnership with Venkatesh Iyer, who played well for 35 from 19 deliveries. Chasing 185 for victory, the West Indies made an inauspicious start, losing 2 wickets within the first 3 overs. First, Kyle Mayers, given out, caught behind on review for just 6 for 1 in the first over. And then in the third, Deepak Chahar struck again. This time, Shea Hope removed for 8. The impressive Chahar left the field injured as Nicholas Pooran and Rovman Powell set about rebuilding the Windies chase with a 47-run third-wicket stand. Powell slammed 2 4s and 2 6s in his 25 from 14, but his dismissal at 73 for 3 sparked a middle-order collapse.
Tracking it, brilliantly held by Shardul Thakur. He was spinning like a top. Hands as safe as a bank.
Captain Pollard, Jason Holder.
There's a fielder there. The fielder there will take the catch. Shreyas Iyer right in front of his own dugout.
And Roston Chase all followed in quick succession as the Windies struggled to 100 for 6 in the 12th over. Pooran provided Hope with a well-calculated half-century.
Should easily get 2. A little bit of a fumble from Ruturaj. A third 50 in a row. 3 out of 3 in this series for Nicholas Pooran.
The left-hander falling for 61 of 47 with 8 4s and 1 6.
Keeper's call for it. Takes it eventually. Oh, it was a big call for the keeper. He had the glove, so he had to go for it. But he had to run a long, long way. Is this the turning point?
And although Romario shepherded 3 6s in his 29 of 21 deliveries, the West Indies managed just 19 of the last 3 overs, eventually restricted to 167 for 9 to hand India victory by 17 runs and the series by 3 matches to 0.
West Indies, they're losing all 6 matches in their limited overs tour of India. So, Lance, you were making the point before we went to the wrap.
Yeah, you were talking about the coming months as they lead up to the T20 World Cup. And I personally think that Pollard is the right person to continue leading the team to the World Cup.
Okay.
I think he had shown enough earlier in his stint as captain to suggest that I think, you know, I would feel safest with him. Notwithstanding that something has gone wrong in the past 3 or 4 months that needs to be fixed. I don't know where we stand on people like Andre Russell and Sunil Narine. There's a feeling that they don't have enough interest to play for us to invest in them. Good to see new players coming in like Rovman Powell and Dominic Drakes and so on. And talent in the team. Nicholas Pooran, you know, Fabian Allen, these are talented players. Evan Lewis, we expect to... Yeah, well, you know, I have a lot of time for Shimon Hetma. I just hope he gets his act together and comes in to help the team. Evan Lewis has been out for a while. He is, without question, the #1 top-order batsman or opening batsman in white ball cricket for the West Indies. So I think what they have to do in the coming months is to plan how they will approach preparation and team selection for the next World Cup in October in Australia. Because to me, there are players who are bursting with ability to lift the West Indies team out of the doldrums. As we see, Roston Chase hasn't been a T20 cricketer, you know, for most of his career, but he ended up taking most wickets in this series against India, which to me is one of the best teams in the world. Nicholas Pooran, on the batting side, led all the batters, and Rovman Powell made it 2 of the 3 top batsmen in the series were West Indians. Exactly. So, you know, those are signs that there are things that they can work on. I just hope that, unlike last year, when the team selectors, the coach and the captain, probably decided from March or April or May the team that they wanted to go to the World Cup and didn't depart too much from that, they will allow talented, hungry players who want to play to have an opportunity to play in T20 cricket between now and October. So when the selectors decide to pick, they'll pick with an open mind and send the strongest team to the World Cup.
And we do have new selectors. On that note, Lance, we're going to take a quick break and come right back.